Jeff and Jeremy here. We're getting ready to throw the Mac down again. Coming up June 18th at the Avila Beach Golf Resort. It's the Mac and Cheese Festival, 9th annual, presented by Malahi Ford. Tickets are available at themacandcheesefest.com. Just announced over the weekend. It's the Molly Ringwald Project, which is going to be fantastic. Can't wait to have that. We got Amy in this morning from Amy and Jamie's place in Templeton, my favorite place to get a breakfast sandwich or a burrito. You guys do such a great job. And you guys are going to be throwing your hat in this year. It's going to make mac and cheese, huh? Is this something you guys normally do up at your place?
We do. We love making pastas. So we were invited, and we're super excited and feel very privileged to be a part of this great event. So we've been toying with a whole bunch of recipes, and I think we might have narrowed it down to 2. So we're waiting on some ingredients to come in, some special secret ingredients. And then we're going to have to make a decision based on, we'll have our staff and friends try it and then have a vote. And then we'll go.
How do you get in on that tasting? Because you brought me a croissant.
I know.
If you could put mac and cheese on a croissant with that bacon, I think that would win.
Oh, I know.
It's so good.
Bacon is a staple in our life these days. Jamie cooks up about 300 pieces of bacon a day. It's insane. I didn't realize people love bacon.
We should have been better friends. I mean,
I know, Jeremy. You had to move.
I know. That's all right. But I'm still here, and I'll be back this summer. I listen.
Breakfast
the Mac
sandwiches.
and Cheese Fest is probably one of the most unique festivals that you're going to get to go to, because not only do we have all these different variations of mac and cheese, Jeff and I have seen mac and cheese sticks like fried cheese, you get at a restaurant,
right?
To mac and cheese tacos, pulled pork, Italian style with Mama's Meatball won it 2 years ago when we had our last one with this great meatball on it. We've seen mac and cheese ice cream. But then after all that, we've got beer, wine, spirits for cocktails, cider, seltzers. I mean, and this ticket gets you in for 4 hours of this. Plus, you got the Molly Ringwald Project playing. So I know it's going to be a ton of fun. But I want to know more about your recipe. I want to know more about what some of you don't have to tell us how you're going to do it, but what some of the key ingredients are. Because if you've done something, unless you're going to put oysters on top of mac and cheese, I don't think that's been done. But everything else has been done.
We are probably not going to do, definitely not oysters. And
I wouldn't recommend.
You probably won't win if that's the case.
Mac and cheese Rockefeller. It does have a cool,
I'm sure it's been done. Mac and cheese is like making pasta, so basically anything goes. You could throw anything into a pasta. Mm-hmm. We do like to bring some of our heritage from both of our sides into our dishes.
Talk about that a little bit. What are your heritages?
Jamie's Spanish Mexican, so that opens the doors up to a lot of flavor. Toasted corn and great chilies and of course some really unique flavored cheeses. We love combining things. I have some Argentinian and Russian and Polish and European flavors, so we have 2 different ones, and of course we need to use something really unique in a pasta. We don't like to do things like everybody else. We like to go outside the box, bring in some different flavors that you might have thought, oh, that's a really weird combination, but then when you put them together, they do really well. So I have to say we specialize in creating dishes with flavors that you normally wouldn't think went together. In a pasta, and then we're going to bring in some really unique cheeses and blend them together for like a perfect mac and cheese.
Amy, if I could give you any advice, it would be don't tell anybody what the ingredients are until after you win. You could you could say what it is, but people get weirded out by ingredients. For example, I was making clam diggers over the weekend. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's a Bloody Mary with Clamato. And the first 2 people that drank them loved them. And then I told them what was in it, and they wouldn't finish it.
Exactly.
Like, clam juice? That is disgusting. I'm like, no, but you loved it. They're like, yeah, well, nobody should drink clam juice. I'm like,
What's with all your shellfish this morning? I mean, there's so many shellfish references. Oysters, clams.
I don't know. Maybe I need to eat some more seafood.
You're lacking in some kind of nutrient that the shellfish provides for you. We're here with Amy from Amy and Jamie's in Templeton, and I want to hear about your story, okay? Because I used to live just blocks away from your restaurant.
Oh, my gosh.
And when COVID hit, is the first time that I saw any literature for your place, and it was just a little menu. I think you'd had it taped up on a like a light post or something along that line. And
No.
if you remember, it was crazy because you couldn't do anything when that first hit. So all we would do is I'd walk around with my kids. I'd walk through all the neighborhoods. I lived back behind the hospital at the time. You guys are located just across the street from the hospital on Los Tablas, and all you have to do is drive down Los Tablas and look for the green flags flapping in the wind.
Yeah,
because that's how you'll find Amy and Jamie's for some delicious breakfast and lunch offerings. But I remember thinking at the time, oh man, that's too bad they decided to open their restaurant when they did, and I didn't think that you'd still be around. But you're still around, and you're doing well. How were you able to navigate it all?
So, wow, you just tapped on a whole bunch of things. I was hoping you weren't going to say you saw a little tape menu in a bathroom. I was really nervous you were going there. So let's move on. So when we walked into the Wellness Kitchen space, which is the space we're in now, we went in to check on our veggie pods, which is our frozen product. It's a green drink and it's super innovative. I'll tell you about later. And she said we walked in to check on how the product was doing when everything was just tanking. The whole world was just going down the tubes. And she said she's going to retire and we should take over this space. And we both looked at her and looked at each other and went, take over what space? Like that's a big juice bar. And one thing led to the other. The owner of the building, this wonderful doctor, met with us and he gave us this opportunity that we could not refuse. Jamie and I don't think about things very long. I think we signed a lease in 2 days. And we both looked at each other. It was like buying a Ferrari and then having buyer's remorse. Like, what the hell did we just do?
Yeah.
We don't know how. We've been in product development and we had product in grocery. So we've been in manufacturing, wholesale. Luckily, my background is, some of it is retail. And we thought, okay, well, these people need food. We're surrounded by medical buildings and a hospital, and the cafeteria closed, of course. So one of our tagline is, when everybody was closing, we opened.
Yeah, it was the truth. And I remember seeing you guys actually growing.
Love it.
A restaurant that's smack dab in the middle of a medical community in which, I mean, let's face it, a lot of people weren't going to doctors during that time because you were told that you had to stay away because everybody thought you were contagion. So, and you guys actually growed through that process, which is phenomenal and probably speaks volumes to your product, you know.
So basically, we were feeding, you're right, we were feeding the hospital frontliners and going through this COVID pandemic that none of us knew what was going on. So every day it was different, a lot of sadness, a lot of fear of the world. So the way we made it is basically being a place where people could come in and just talk, although we all had masks on, but we shared really horrific stories. And we finally realized why we were there. It's not for the money. It's not because we have the best food around. It's because we needed a safe place for these people that were taking care of us to go to, get a great meal, and go back to work and try to get through each day. So we've hung in there. Jamie and I work about 12 hours a day, Monday through Saturday, and that's how we've stayed there. A lot of people had problems staffing. We made friends that were not working during this time that helped us, that were chefs or caterers and people that weren't doing anything. They just wanted to come in and share and be out of their house and be with us and have some good laughs and create a space where people could come, locals, even, well, travelers not at that time, but a lot of locals found us and thought it was just a great, happy place to be. So that's kind of what we've developed there.
Well, we're glad to have you because you lived out of the area and you moved up here to do all this, right? Isn't that correct?
Yeah, we were in Southern California where Jamie's from Newport Beach. I'm originally from the Bay Area. And we met down there and ended up kind of retiring, but we were still working on our veggie pods. And we wanted a halfway space, a halfway place to live in between my family up in the Bay Area. And we ended up in Paso buying a vineyard.
Did?
Yeah, which you would love this story. We bought one of Richard Surratt's, who's like the founding father of Zinfandel.
Zinfandel, yeah.
We miss him a lot. We were 2 vineyards away from him, and we bought one of his original 9-acre Zinfandel vineyards.
Oh, look at you. That's amazing.
Yeah, so we learned from him and a few of the old guys in the business, Hank Donatoni and Mr. Caparone down the street would walk by and tell us we didn't sucker well enough and we didn't, do all these things, so we'd have to start all over again.
So wait, you're growing grapes and you're running your restaurant. Is it a restaurant deli? What do you guys classify
It's a cafe.
it as?
It's a cafe,
Okay,
gift shop, and now we're doing a lot of catering, which is so much fun. But we have some seats now that we're clear of this COVID mess. We have about 6 or 7 tables. You can come in and hang out. I was talking about if you do come in and you're hanging out for an hour or 2, you get to taste everything that comes out of the kitchen. Because Jamie cannot resist bringing food over that he's making. So you'll leave really full after you just ordered one thing.
I think the second time I was there, we were sitting down, and if you sit down, just be ready to get something extra thrown to your way. And I'm like, what is this? Like, try it. All right.
Surprise.
Okay, I want to hear about these veggie pods.
So the veggie pod is total opposite of a retail juice bar. So we don't specialize in fruit. So if you like fruit, we have one sweet one, which is beets, carrot, mango, papaya, blueberry. The other 2 are total nutrition, 8 to 12 ingredients of mostly local greens. So spinach, kale, celery, cucumber, apple cider vinegar, fresh ginger. Everything's fresh, no powders. We took these products and we blended them, created a recipe, which took us a while because you don't want to have to plug your nose when you drink this drink. So we found the perfect blend. We blend them in an FDA approved plant in Napomo. We inject these little pods that look like Jell-O, and then we freeze them. So when you're ready for a juice and you're at your computer, or you're at home with kids, or you're on the run and you don't have time for a good breakfast and you make a really bad choice, this is a great choice. It'll get you most of your nutrition for the day. So you pop it in a blender. It's frozen, so no ice. We use coconut water in the cafe. You can do almond milk or a juice. Blend it for about 20 seconds and you have a 12-ounce vegan, plant-based, amazing juice. Throw a piece of banana in it and it tastes like a milkshake.
Wow, like a superfood thing. So
superfood.
You hear a lot of this, you see online or whatever, these superfood powders that you can buy, and those things are so expensive. How do you get your pods, and how much is it a
our juice, I think they're $6.49 for a drink. It's normally, if you were in Southern California or Bay Area, it's about a $12 retail drink because of all the ingredients. Or a lot of people buy them frozen, stick them in the freezer, and it's a smoothie on demand. We sell them for $5 frozen. If you, we ship all over California on dry ice. I might be able to get you some. FedEx and UPS make more money on us.
It's only 17 and a half hour drive. I expect Jamie to be up here by.
Well, I mean, if you just leave and drive straight through, and you leave when it's frozen, then it'll be ready for you when you get there.
Yeah, we drove that the last 2 days because we went up to see my 95-year-old mom. So he probably feels like he drove 17 hours. But we can get you some. But they're super fun. They have about a year shelf life when you keep them frozen because it's all live food. Yeah. And super healthy.
That's cool. I mean, that's better than the powder alternative that a lot of people turn to on that because you're getting the freshness.
Yeah, when you take that lid off, it's like you just went out and picked the vegetables.
Plus, you know where it comes from. You said everything's local, right? So everything is. It's not like who knows.
As you all know, we are surrounded by amazing produce.
Yeah, it's good to see people putting it to use.
Yeah, I love the powders to feed the world, but I don't want to drink a powder in the morning. It's like Metamucil. So we had to go with the fresh thing.
So Amy and Jamie's is off Los Tablas in Templeton. Get in there for breakfast. What are your hours, by the way? I know you're open in the morning. What time do you get closed?
We're open at 7. We get there at 5. We're open at 7 to 3. A lot of the times we're there later because we make little burritos for Joe Bella Coffee. So we're constantly making burritos for them. And if you see our gray SUV, it's a Volkswagen out there. You can come in if the lights are on. It's kind of like Motel 6.
I got to tell you, after having this breakfast sandwich, I got to stop in for lunch to try your BLT because that bacon you guys are using is amazing. And if he's cooking that much bacon, if Jamie's cooking that much bacon a day, I know that that he takes his bacon game serious.
He's a bacon,
and that's very
seriously
important for bacon aficionados.
Yes.
Yeah, great to see you, Amy. And tell Jamie
too.
I said hello. And Jeff, I'm sure that that is right on your way. You're going to make use of that very conveniently. Las Tablas, right across from the hospital there. You're in the bottom of like a medical building.
Yes.
So if you could miss it, just turn in there and
look for the green flags.
Yeah, the green flags.
The funny thing is, upstairs is a gastrointestinal doctor.
I know. I had to go there for. I was so mad. I had to go there for a consult, and it was a late afternoon consult. And I was starving. I'd not eaten anything all day. I was like, oh, maybe I'll grab something, show up a little early, which I did, and grab something. You guys were already gone. And I was like, oh, man, now I got to go through this consult.
People run in with their papers like, they look around, they're like, is this where you get a colonoscopy? I'm like, does it look like you get a colonoscopy here?
All right. TheMacAndCheeseFest.com. You can also link up at KZOZ.com to get your tickets. Molly Ringwald Project. Amy and Jamie will be there. They're going to do their mac and cheese. We hope to see you there as well.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.